What's up, everybody? It's 2025, the second day. Some of you have joined the gym and still haven't gone. Some of you have joined the gym, and in 3 weeks, you're going to stop going. You won't cancel your membership because you say you're gonna go again. Yeah, right. If it's important to you, it's scheduled. So when I used to do a seminar and ask people, hey, how do you guys go to the gym? And they'd all raise their hand. What days do you go to the gym? Majority of them couldn't answer because they didn't have a schedule for it to go to the gym, so they're not going. And it isn't a coincidence that every year it's the same three resolutions top, which is stop smoking, get out of debt, and lose weight. But unfortunately, people, we have no discipline. They haven't made a decision. They're making goals. They put it on the refrigerator, say, these are my goals for the year. Make decisions and leave the goals to the hockey players, right? And what I want to talk about in this video is not just talk about influencing. It's such a fad word right now. It's like trending word for the last like what 5-6 years. Become an influencer, follow influencers. Some people are influencers and don't influence crap. They just basically talk and people follow them simply on personality alone, right? But be careful on who you let influence you. And in this year, 2025, what I ask for you to do for yourself is have original thought. Stop worrying about what other people think and other people's opinion. What is your opinion? This is why you're going to see me doing a podcast. And I was doing it. I created a couple podcasts, but I thought, okay, podcast for me, was recording something and putting it on audio and then sending it to a certain platforms. But all the real podcasters do video. And since I'm good at video and I like doing video, I need to have guests interview with me where we talk about bullshit about anything. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about business. It could just be about what's going on in current events, right? So, the key that I'm saying for 2025 is not only just start influencing and have original thought, but stop letting others influence you. Have original thinking. Think for yourself. You don't need someone else to give you all the answers. You can definitely use them for resources and content and maybe learn some things. But what do you think? What are your thought process? You're a grown adult. You can figure it out, right? So I was watching the show on Prime last night. It's called 19 and Counting, or it's actually the show. It's a docu-series about the show 19 and Counting. And for some of you that are not familiar with this, it is about a family that's the father's a pastor and he has 19 children, right? And what we find out in this docu-series is not only was the oldest molesting the sisters, but that the whole organization, after they started finding out and talking to people, that it was just one big organization basically teaching men how to abuse women, their wives, and it was just setting children up to become abused by people in that organization. You hear about this all the time, that people use religion to trick people, right? That's why I'm not a fan of organized religion, because I hear so many of these stories. You're trusting a man or a woman to tell you what you need to do and what you're supposed to do. But where is your original thought? You can't think for yourself. So this influencer thing has become a trend and a fad, right? For me, I only listen to like 2 or 3 podcasts religiously and basically talking about things that are going on in current events. And one's funny, one is more about politics and business. But I'm very careful on what I'm listening to because I only want to be influenced by people that align with what I believe in. But not only that, I want to start influencing for people to think for themselves. And for you guys that are watching this, if you are interested in being on a podcast and you've never done it, I've realized all the top podcasters do video podcasts, and they're in the nice studios. They have the nice little microphones. You don't need that in the beginning. You just need to be out there putting content out there. And if you're not putting content out there, then you're being influenced. You're not influencing anybody. And if you're trying to control a marketplace, or you're trying to strive in your business, or you're trying to thrive in your career, then you have to be the one creating the content and the one influencing, right? But for so many of you, I watch sharing other people's content, other influencers' content. I see it all the time on people's stories, on people's Facebook. You will very seldomly see me post another person's content, because the goal is to get the influence towards myself. So I have to be the one talking. I have to be the one saying things. And when I share other people's content, all I'm doing is driving traffic to those people. Now, they might align and they might say some things that you enjoy and you like. Why not create your own video? Why not create your own podcast talking about it? You can use the source for them and listen to what they're saying and just give us your own spin on the situation. So, for some of you guys that don't know this, I've created a group called Club 100, which is going to be in the next 3 weeks. We're going to have our next meeting. So if you want to be on the list to be at that meeting, DM me, or else you won't be, unless you're personally invited, you won't even hear about it. So the last meeting I did, I didn't publicly promote it. I just reached out to people personally that I wanted to come to the Club 100 meetings. Why I'm wearing the 100 chain. But in this year, 2025, learn to stop being influenced. You know, while I'm watching this 19 and counting, I was so disturbed by the commercials they were showing. It was all for different medicines, and what it was funny is a lot of the medicines were add-ons to the medicine you're already taking, but this could be an add-on to help you with your asthma. And it's funny because you're watching this commercial and it's talking about if you have a hard time breathing, if you have a hard time doing this and that, please call your doctor. So you're telling me I might take this pill that's supposedly supposed to make me breathe better, but there's a possibility that I will have a hard time breathing. It just makes no sense. But that's why there's so much power in advertisement. And if you're not doing it, 2025 is your year to do it because you're leaving money on the table. But not only that, if you're somebody that has the time or the effort or don't have the energy to create content on a consistent basis like me, then you're going to need to create one piece of content and let that thing do its thing over and over and over again. That's why I got into the advertisement business. For some of you guys that go back and know my history, I used to do seminars, I used to do masterminds, I used to do events and whatnot. I did a lot of things, but I had a lot of different meetings. But I went into advertisement because we can see the numbers, but not only that, it's able to influence the target that we pick, whether it's what age, whether it's married, single, whether it's women or men. Create one piece of content that will go over and over and over again. This is the reason why they do commercials, because if we see it enough times, we start to believe it, right? If you see the Kardashians enough times, you start to think, oh, these are good people. Probably the worst people. I did a video on them years ago on YouTube about how watch for your daughters because they pretty much influence garbage. But to go back to the point, right, when it comes to creating content, there's there's a quote that I heard years ago, which was, it's easier to get a new audience than it is to create a new speech. I'll say that again. It is easier to find a new audience than it is to create a new speech, right? So if you have content in whatever industry you're in, whatever business you're doing, you just need to do one piece of content and then we can advertise that everywhere. But if you're a person that's like, you know, I go to these networking events and I really don't like what a lot of time just being sold by other people. This is the reason why I created Club 100, because I just wanted to have a group of people talk about real things, talk about real business, no bullshit, none of that nonsense, fluffy motivation. You're going to make it. I might make it nonsense. You know, for some of you guys in 2025, you're really motivated right now. It's a new year. I'm going to do it. But if that was true, then the 3 top resolutions wouldn't be the same every year. Lose weight, stop smoking, get out of debt. Because weren't you trying to do that 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? What I want to make the point in this video is stop being influenced and start influencing.